You know, one of the most powerful concepts that has shaped how I think about productivity, business, and impact is something called the Pareto Principle, also known as the 80-20 rule. It's a simple idea, but it completely changes the way you see your work and your life. The principle says that roughly 80% of results come from just 20% of the effort. In other words, not everything you do has equal impact. Some things move the needle much more than others. When I first started Facebook, we were a small team, working out of a dorm room. We didn't have time to do everything, so we had to focus on what really mattered. The 20% of things that would make 80% of the difference. For us, that meant building the best possible product experience, not worrying about monetization or expansion right away. That focus allowed us to grow exponentially. The Pareto principle shows up everywhere, in business, in coding, in relationships, even in learning. For example, when you're learning a new skill, often 20% of the concepts give you 80% of the understanding. In a company, 20% of customers might generate 80% of the revenue. In your daily routine, 20% of your tasks might contribute to 80% of your success. The key insight is that leverage matters. Some actions simply have a higher return than others. Once you identify what those are, your goal should be to double down on them. Now, the Pareto principle doesn't mean you should ignore the other 80%. It's not about doing less. It's about doing smarter. It's about prioritization. Most people spend their time reacting, trying to do everything, but the most successful people focus their energy on the few things that create the biggest results. I try to apply this every day. So if you want to be more productive or grow faster, start by asking yourself, what are the few things that, if I did them really well, would make the biggest difference? And when you focus your time and energy on those vital few things, you'll be amazed at how much progress you can make and how much value you can create, not just for yourself, but for everyone around you.